praises to Yahweh Bashem, Yahweh Shah, Bashem, Ruach that's the Paleo Hebrew of our Lord and Savior, who the world calls Jesus the Christ. Today we're going to go over, Psalms, and then we're going to watch a short video of these so-called uh, white people admitting to their guilt, of in their history. Okay, so this is why the Lord Yahweh Bashem, Yahweh Shah had to come, or is coming, you know, back to save his people. Okay, and those who have repented and returned to him by calling on his name first. So let's go over Psalms 106, and we'll just start at uh, 4. It says, "Remember me, O Lord, Yahweh Bashem Yahushua, with the favor that thou bearest unto thy people. O visit me with thy salvation, that I may see the good in thy chosen, that I may rejoice in the gladness of thy nation, that I may glory with thy inheritance. We have sinned with our fathers. We have committed iniquity. We have done wickedly." Okay, and that's talking about the so-called blacks, Native Americans, and Latinos. Okay, we have sinned against the Lord Yahweh Hashem Yahushua. First off, by following after idol gods and different gods in the lands that we were scattered to, and not serving the true power Yahweh Hashem Yahushua. It says, "Our fathers understood not thy wonders in Egypt. They remembered not the multitude of thy mercies, but provoked him at the sea, even at the Red Sea. Nevertheless, he saved them for his name's sake, that he might make his mighty power, that he might make his mighty power to be known." You see that? So in the last days, he's going to make his power known to the Edomites and also to his people, the Israelites. Okay, so this is why he's coming in the last days to save us from the wicked of Esau. Okay, which is the so-called um, red people, which is going under the name white. So the Lord is coming back to save his people in the last days. So I wanted to play a little short video and let you hear this guy, uh, this proud guy in their history. So let's play colonialism has been one of the greatest forces for good that the world has ever seen. Billions of people today are living better lives than they would have lived had Europeans not colonized the globe. The colonizers spread civilization, they spread the gospel, they spread innovation, they spread important ideas, such as the idea that you shouldn't murder your children to appease the sun god, that you shouldn't eat your enemies to absorb their life force. Did the colonizers also spread dairy products? I don't know, but I'm happy to add that to the list of triumphs. Is our civilization one that we should be proud of, even in spite of its history of conquest? No, not in spite of that history. I'm proud of it in large part because of that history. It is one of the great triumphs of all time that our forefathers had to first conquer an ocean in order to then land on a giant mass of uncharted wilderness filled with untold dangers and wild beasts and, yes, primitive warring tribes, many of whom practiced human sacrifice and cannibalism, and who, if they captured you, would torture you for fun and rape your wife and children before killing you, maybe eating your internal organs and taking your family as their property. And yet, in the face of those unimaginable horrors, our forefathers and ancestors conquered this entire hemisphere and settled it and single-handedly dragged it out of the Stone Age and built from the wilderness the greatest civilization the world had ever known. Am I proud of that? Yes, I am. Now, the natives lived in the Americas for 20,000 years. This is something that the left and the people who hate this country like to bring up all the time. Well, they were here for so long. Yeah, they were here for a long time. What did they do in that time? During that time, they never figured out the wheel. They never figured out written language. Most of them progressed hardly at all over the course of 200 centuries. They were still eating each other and living in tents, many of them. The great tribes of Mesoamerica had advanced the most. And by that I mean they had caught up to the ancient Egyptians by the time that the conquistadors showed up. They were building pyramids at a time when Europeans were using the printing press. Then European settlers arrived here, and in less than 3 centuries, they had established a nation. So those people that he's talking about are the Israelites, okay? Uh, So-called Native American Indians, okay? Tribe of Gad and Reuben, okay? This is who he's talking about. That was already here in this land before the conquistadors, the Spaniards, came and slaughtered all the natives, all of pretty much our people, the Israelites. So
In another 70 or so years, that nation would stretch across the entire continent from one ocean to another. In another 50 years, they'd be digging a giant trench through the earth to physically connect one ocean to the other. At the same time, they would be building vehicles that can fly through the air. In another few decades, they'd be walking on the surface of the moon. Okay, these settlers took a wilderness sparsely inhabited.
which is a lie, nobody's walked on the moon, okay? I just don't think that you can go up to and post on a light bulb, okay? Because the moon is a sun, but it's a lesser light for the night in the night. So these people, their history is just all messed up, man. And this is why the Lord is coming back to destroy these people, man, because they don't have a good history on the earth, and everything that they have done has been shedding of blood on innocent people. Okay, especially the so-called blacks, Native American Indians, and Latinos. Okay, the 12 tribes of Israel. So let's finish
By
listening.
hostile Stone Age natives, and in a matter of a few centuries, built the greatest, most advanced, most globally dominant nation the world has ever known. Am I proud of that? Oh, yes. I am very proud of that. And I will always be proud of that. And I will never apologize for it. Period. White people have always been at war with nature, and history proves it. For thousands of years, civilizations across the world have lived in harmony with their environments, building societies that worked with the land rather than against it. But white European societies took a different approach. They declared war on nature itself. From deforestation to factory farming, from climate disasters to outright destruction of entire ecosystems, white societies have never treated the natural world as something to be preserved or respected, only as something to be conquered, extracted, and controlled. White people saw nature as an obstacle, not a home. Early European settlements were built on environmental destruction, while indigenous societies in Africa, Asia, and the Americas built homes, farms, and cities in ways that worked with their environments. White Europeans raised forests, overhunted, and exhausted lands at unsustainable rates. White settlers in North America and Australia saw nature as something hostile that needed to be tamed, a mentality that led to rapid deforestation, soil depletion, and near extinction of countless species. Unlike African, Asian, and indigenous cultural techniques, which prioritized soil health, water preservation, and biodiversity, white European farming was built around short-term exploitation, leading to repeated environmental collapses. The climate was white people's first enemy. European history is filled with climate-related crises, from the Little Ice Age to mass famines. But instead of adapting, Europeans treated nature as something to be fought against. In contrast, many African and Asian civilizations built entire agricultural and irrigation systems to withstand droughts and floods, while white European societies barely survived their own winters. The entire colonization of the Americas was justified. The land was only seen as a profit. White people did not master nature. They fought it, and in the process made their own environments worse. The Industrial Revolution was just organized environmental warfare. Europeans burned through forests, poisoned rivers, and polluted air at paces that no civilization had ever come close to before. Unlike African and Asian metallurgical techniques, which often integrated sustainable resource management, white Europeans tore through resources without a second thought, leading to mass deforestation and ecological collapse. White-run factories pumped so much pollution into the air that by the 19th century, entire cities were unlivable. European capitalism saw nature as something to be bought, sold, and destroyed for profit, a total inversion of the way many non-European societies treated the land. The demand for industrialized agriculture led to monocropping, soil erosion, and mass extinction of entire plant and animal species. Instead of recognizing environmental limits, white industrialists kept expanding, leading directly to today's climate crisis. White civilization did not progress, it just burned through resources faster than anyone else.
White people broke the planet, then pretended to save it. The same white societies that led deforestation, pollution, and species extinction now act like they're the ones saving the planet. Western conservation efforts often ignore indigenous knowledge, favoring white-led environmental movements that focus more on guilt than real solutions. Instead of restoring the ecosystems that they've destroyed, white environmentalists push for solutions that maintain control, like carbon taxes that don't stop destruction. They just price it differently. Indigenous land management techniques like controlled burns, rotational grazing, and agroforestry were ignored by white scientists for centuries. Despite their success, traditional African and Asian water conservation methods kept entire civilizations thriving through harsh climates, while European-style industrial farming drained aquifers and poisoned rivers. White conservationism often prioritizes saving landscapes for aesthetics rather than for the survival of ecosystems.
Okay, man. So we can see, man, like this guy's going on about the history of so-called white people, and their history does not look good in the eyes of Yahweh Bashem Yahushua, and this is why he's coming to save his planet uh, uh, from the hands of the wicked. According to Job 9 and 20, Job 9 verse 24, he says the earth is given into the hand of the wicked. So the wicked is actually in control over the earth, and this is why the earth is off course. You know, this is why so much destruction is on the planet Earth because of the people who's ruling it. It's not being ruled in righteousness, and everything is destroyed, man. So let's go to Job right quick. So actually, if we come here to Job 9 and 20, verse 24, it says the earth is given into the hand of the wicked. See, so the earth is given into the hand of the wicked, and they run the earth. You know, a lot of people gonna say, they're not the only people who run the earth, but they didn't do this next part. It says the wicked. It says he's covered the faces of the judges thereof. If not, where and who is he? So the judges, the true judges, were is Yahweh Bashem Yahushua. Okay, and how they covered the faces of by putting uh, Yahweh Bashem Yahushua, a melanated God, in their image. Okay, by putting up uh, the Most High being in their image and looking like them. Okay, and putting that off throughout the whole earth. So this is why the scripture say the earth is given into the hand of the wicked. He covered the faces of the judges, and these people, all our history, they have just tried to destroy, or they have knocked the noses off some statues, so that they wouldn't look like us or the Israelites. So these people have been doing wickedly since they've been on the earth. So I wanted to share that with you guys today because some of us can't see in these times. So the Lord is gonna come back and save His people, the elect, from the hands of their enemies and all them that hate them. So let's go to Psalms. So he said, let's go to Psalms 106, and we'll start at 17. It says it's talking about the Israelites. It says we'll start at 106 and 16. It says they envied Moses also in the camp, and Aaron, the saint of the Lord. The earth opened and swallowed up Dathan, and covered the company of Abiram, and a fire was kindled in their company. The flame burned up the wicked. You see that? So the Lord is coming back with fire to burn up the wicked. You know, and in the same way He did things back then. According to the scriptures, He's going to come back this time mad at at the people on the earth, the wicked. So he's going to burn them up and purge out the land. It says they made a calf in her wrath and worshipped the molten image. Thus they changed their glory into the similitude of an ox that eateth grass. So this is what happened to the Israelites when they was going off serving the golden calf. Okay, and not the Lord Yahweh Bashem Yahushua. It says they forgot their Savior, which had done great things in Egypt, wondrous works in the land of Ham, and terrible things by the Red Sea. Therefore he said that he would destroy them had not Moses, his chosen, stood before him in the breach, to turn away his wrath, lest he should destroy them. Yea, they despised the pleasant land, they believed not his word, but murmured in their tents, and hearkened not unto the voice of the Lord. And it's the same way today, man. Our people still not listening to the voice of the Lord through the prophets and teachers, you know, who's teaching the truth. So, you know, if our people not going to listen, man, the Lord is not going to wait on you to, He's not going to wait on you to return or whatever He's going to do what He have to do in the time that He said He's going to do it. So if you're not right by that time, then like I say, the world is going to go out by fire, and the wicked is going to go out with that in that fire with. So I want to share that with you guys today, man. Um, these people are wicked, and they're proud people. They're proud of their history. Uh, they're proud, of what they have accomplished by shedding of blood, and you know, so the Lord is gonna come back and take care of all the wicked, okay, and save His people, those who truly believe in the name, uh, from that fire that He gonna bring. So, let's we're gonna go to Revelation chapter let's see 8 and Revelation 8 and 8. It says, and the second angel sounded, and it were a great mountain, Salaki. And the second angel sounded, and as it were a great mountain burning with fire was cast into the sea, and the third part of the sea became blood, and the third part of the creatures which were in the sea and had life died, and the third part of the ships were destroyed. And the third angel sounded, and there fell a great star from heaven, burning as it were a lamp, and it fell upon the third part of the rivers, and upon the fountains of waters. And the name of the star is called Wormwood. And the third part of the waters became wormwood, and many men died of the waters, because they were made bitter. See that? So, um, like I said, the Lord is coming by fire, man. And if we're not gonna be right, man, you know, when the Lord make it back here, man, it's gonna be too late for us to try to get ourselves together. This is why He's giving. This is why during this grace period we're supposed to be returning back to the Lord Yahweh Bashem and Hawashai, and seeking Him, and seeking His righteousness, and calling on His true name. Okay. So I want to share that with you guys today. I'll be back with the next one, Lord willing. Peace.